What's going on, everybody? It is Sunday night. What are you doing? Watching football? I know you should be watching Curve Uncensored. How was your Sunday? Well, I just wanted to come to you. I had a big show planned for you tonight, but I had a couple things come up, so I'm going to end up pushing it back a little bit. But I did want to come to you just to update you, and also I want to go live to just kind of check in with you and also just briefly talk about what we were going to speak about this week. As I had stated, we were going to talk about why do men and women cheat. We were also going to talk about why and can and is it possible to love two people equally. Oftentimes, in my opinion, I think it's difficult. It was a song back in the day by William Bell. It was before my time, but I am very much familiar with that song. You know the old song, "Trying to Love Too." Show ain't easy to do. You know that old song, right? I want to talk a little bit about that tonight because, in my opinion, it is very difficult. It kind of puts you in a triangle. The song just kind of expresses everything just down to the point. But a couple of my guests got sick today, so we are going to have to reschedule it. But I guess it's very difficult for me to understand oftentimes when someone has a really good mate at home, someone that does love them and got their back and, you know, there to support them through everything, sickness, health, even if you're not married, that person is just very supportive. Why it's so easy to be tempted to have another relationship on the outside. It happens a lot. And nowadays, back in the day, it was cheating. You just had another woman. Now it's called a side chick. If you are, the woman on the outside, and so it's difficult because I think back in the day, as we had spoke about on one of the other shows, um, you know, you had women and women just kind of knew their positions and all that kind of thing on the outside. Sometimes there were whole families going on across town, and you don't even know anything about it till the daughter comes knocking on the door or the son comes knocking on the door. And you wonder, like, how was that possible? How can someone have a whole family cross town or in another state and I know nothing about it? And but it does happen. It happens a lot, and it's very disheartening and very difficult to deal with. It causes a lot of dissension in the families, but it happens. And I want to talk about that tonight to find out why do men and women cheat? Why is it so difficult to get everything that you need and want from from that person you're with at home, whether it's a long time relationships or it's a wife, it's until death do us part, or a husband to death do us part. But oftentimes, I think a lot of times, sometimes I'm a woman, so I can talk to you from that aspect. And I have a lot of uncles, so just based on things that I've seen in the past, oftentimes from a woman's standpoint, I think a lot of times they start feeling underappreciated. They have children, they're not complimented like they used to be complimented, and they start having self-esteem issues, and then they get that attention from someone on the outside, and it makes them feel pretty again. It makes them feel loved. It makes them feel wanted. And oftentimes, hold on, I'm sorry. It's just one of those things that's a lot of women, we always want to feel like we're appreciated, that we're pretty, that we look good. And I think, but one of the problems, I think, it is that we look for other people to make us feel that way, and we have to feel that way from inside ourselves. So, I think oftentimes when we do step out of the relationship, it's because from a lack of appreciation, not feeling good anymore, or sometimes this may not be attracted to your spouse like you once was, you know. And from a male's perspective, I would think a lot of times, because women, as a woman, we are more emotionally tied. Men are more physical. So as women, we have children and we may gain weight. We may not be as physically attracted, attractive to the man that we're with. And oftentimes that kind of they see someone on the outside, and don't let them start getting to be or become an older man. Okay, they get a pretty young thing on the outside, letting them know that they still got it and look good is very tempting. Even though sometimes they have a whole family at home. So we're going to talk a lot about that. I did want to have a dialogue and have me just actually to hear from a male perspective and just kind of find out from them why it's so difficult to get everything you need from that woman at home. Why is it so easy, or why is it that some men step out? It's not all men. It's just some. It's not all women. It's just some. And what is it about it? Why is it that you can't work on what you have at home? Especially, I don't understand when these men get older, why they step out. Because I mean, I'm a woman of a particular age, but I try to still keep myself together, looking, pulled together. So it's not that because you get older, you still can't look good, you can't be sexy, you can't keep yourself together. I think that just has to come from within. And I think the biggest fallacy with women is just that we look for men to give us that. And oftentimes we can't do that. We have to learn how to love ourselves. And I think that's the biggest thing. So um, that old song by William Bell, Trying to Love Too, it's not easy because it starts out fun and it gets very complicated. That triangle get real distorted, honey. Turns into some other shape when things start when that other woman or that other man wants more of your time. So we're going to be talking about that at a later date. But I did want to come to you tonight just to touch bases with you and let you all know that I did not forget about you, and we are going to still have this conversation at a later date. But yeah, I just think the most important thing is trying to work on the relationship that you have. And if there's something wrong or something that's missing, then you have to be able to communicate with that spouse or that significant other that's in your life. So yeah, we're going to talk about why men and women cheat, because it is a big thing. A lot of people nowadays, they're opening up their relationships. It's something that today things, when it comes to sex and sexuality and relationships, it's not like the old traditional stuff back in the day. I mean, they're doing a whole lot of things different, honey. So if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. So but a lot of people, they have open relationships, and you know what, it works for them. And I'm not a hater. It may not be my thing, but if it swings for you, then do your thing. I'm open. I'm an open-minded person, and I believe that what works for one relationship may not necessarily work for the next one. So, to each its own. But open relationships, a lot of celebrities are doing it. Monique does it. Her and her husband open up their relationship, and they're okay as long as the other person knows what's going on. Me, myself, no ma'am, no, no, no. If I'm not what you want, let's have a conversation about it and let's move on. You understand? So I'm not accepting of that at all. So, but a lot of women nowadays, they are. And a lot of people bring other people into the relationship, and I think that that's a big no. Don't ever bring a third person into your marriage or your relationship. That's when you really, really mess up. So I don't think that that's ever acceptable. Some people, it's cool for them. For me, it's not, honey. I'm almost hitting the big 3 years, and if I can't get it done, then you don't have to get stepping. So no, I'm not with that, but a lot of people are. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna have a conversation. I just wanted to come to you tonight because I was supposed to have other guests and had some issues come up. So we're gonna postpone this show for another day, but it's gonna be good when we have it. So anyway, I'm gonna check out of here. But before I do, I'm gonna go live tomorrow. I've been talking about Cardi B and Tasha K. That's the hot thing on social media right now. Tasha K, in case you don't know, she's a blogger, and everybody know Cardi B. Cardi B is my girl, and they have a little friction going on where it got bad. So now they're in court. Cardi B took Tasha K to court, and it's looking ugly for Tasha. So I'm gonna follow up on what happens in court, the verdict. And I'm gonna come live tomorrow, and I'm gonna let you know what's really happening. I think Tasha bit off a little bit more than she could chew. I do think bloggers, they they have a responsibility. Even when it's a celebrity, you have to know when you're going too far. You're pushing the envelope too far. And I think some of the things Tasha said, was a little bit too far. So I'm gonna come to you tomorrow. I'm gonna talk to you about that, among other things, and I will be back. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.